guys, welcome back to Angela, and on this quick podcast I wanted to talk about just how the narcissist always gives you clues. You know, I was just speaking on this and I'm gonna just speak on it again, but in a shorter message from last video. So the narcissist, you guys, they always give you clues, and when you're dealing with these people, you don't really pay attention to the clues. Like, you don't pay attention to what kind of person you're dealing with. You don't study your parents or the people closest to you. You don't try to figure out like why they are the way they are, why they say certain things, why they think a certain way. You just feel like they should just be remorseful for making you feel bad, or they shouldn't inflict pain on you knowing you can't handle that kind of pain, right? So the narcissist gives you clues so that, you know, to them it's like they're doing you a favor, even though it's blasphemous. They feel like they're doing you a favor because they feel like it's gonna hurt a little bit less because you're gonna remember the clues. So it's gonna hurt a little bit less, but then it doesn't really hurt a little bit less because you have empathy. So it actually hurts you even more because they gave you clues, because you're dealing with someone that doesn't have emotional empathy for you. They have it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't like having a bad day. This is why you think the narcissist is an empath a lot of times, is because they're always telling you stories or how people did them wrong. They're always telling you stuff where it makes you feel like they're an empath, but then they'll give you clues that they're really a sneaky, evil, you know, demonic thief. You know, they're a thief, a spiritual thief, a physical thief. You know, their blessings come in being a thief and taking. That's how their blessing comes. You know, when they feel like they outsmarted someone, or when they got someone at a vulnerable point. You know, when someone's not paying attention. You know, when you're not watching your belongings. To them, those are blessings. Taking from people, stealing from people, those are blessings to the narcissist, you know. But they will always give you clues. You know, the first clue I ever got one time when, one of them was my sister. You know, I went on like a spiritual journey when I was getting rid of all the narcissists, but then I didn't have family, so I was connecting to siblings that I had never spoken to and things like that. And I felt awful when I met her, and people, you know, warned me about it, but I had to learn the hard way. I think a lot of us, when we heal, we want to connect to someone, or we don't want to feel alone in the world, or we just can't handle the fact that we know we're on our own. So, you know, I got this weird feeling about her, and, you know, then she tells me, she goes, I made you a coffee. I put creamer and sugar on it already. Even though at first she told me she had coffee, she told me she had creamer, sugar, and everything. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna make my own coffee because she's telling me she has everything set up, right? But when I come, she's like, oh, I made your cup of coffee. And for some reason, my intuition said, don't drink it, right? So I didn't drink it. I waited till she was gone, and I just threw it in the sink, and I grabbed a fresh batch of coffee. And then I could tell she was kind of like, what, did you think I put something in it or something? And I was like, no, it's just, you didn't know how much sugar or creamer I wanted. I wanted to make it exactly how I make it, right? But then I started to discover things about her. You know, there was witchcraft books all in her house. Her mother, she told me, was a witch, and she told me her grandmother was a witch, and they came from generation of witches. So to me, it's like she's telling on herself, but she's telling you for a reason. And then you're thinking, are you an evil witch or a good witch? Like, it's the Wizard of Oz. Like, I don't know who you are at this point, because the more I get to know you, the more I'm discovering certain things about you, and it's kind of alarming, because I'm coming to a whole nother state, and I don't have no one. She knows I don't have anyone. So it was just situations where she was bringing me around people, and the people she was bringing me around didn't like me. They thought they thought because I wasn't super, like, I got to know everyone, but there were people who wanted a lot of attention, and I think because I wasn't as extrovert, and didn't idolize them, they felt like I was thinking I was better than them, but I don't think I'm better than them. And they think because I'm from California or where I grew up, it's nothing but bougie people, but it's just different states are just different people, the way you talk, the way you dress, everything. So it was something, they will tell you things about yourself, but they're telling you how they feel. So by them saying, oh, she's bougie or something, that's how they're perceiving me, because they feel low about themselves. You know what I'm saying? Or they're trying to force you to believe things about yourself, that how they view you, and it really doesn't matter, because you should know who you are, and if you know who you are, there's nothing anyone can basically tell you. But because you don't know these things, you don't know yourself, the narcissist knows that you don't know yourself. They know themselves, and they also feel like they know you better than you know yourself. So this is why they play tricks with you by telling you the truth, because you just cannot believe that someone will gaslight you, to the point where it's like, for what? Obviously there's a reason for what, but it's, when they tell you the truth, it's very sick. And it's very sick too, because like I said, you'll think about certain scenarios. I had another scenario where I had a friend, and I thought this person was my best friend. This was when I was young and growing up. I think I was like in middle school, going to high school. And I'm thinking this person's my friend, and I remember getting jumped by a group of girls, and they stole my jewelry, right? And obviously a lot of these girls didn't have any jewelry, and I was kind of shocked, first of all, that my jewelry was taken, because to me, I didn't wear too much jewelry or anything like that, but I had like some nice earrings, a nice bracelet, a nice ring, a nice necklace, and these were gifts that my family bought for me, so they were sentimental to me. I never took them off, and they were custom made. And I really don't even know why I even got jumped in the first place, but obviously when you are hanging around certain people, they stir up lies that are not even true. So, people would give me clues. They would be like, your friend was over here. So even other narcissists, like when you're dealing with a narcissist man or woman, their family gives you clues. Even they will give you clues, and they don't want to tell you all they know you have no idea. They almost feel sorry for you, because they know you don't believe the narcissist. They know that you're under their spell to the point that you're just not going to believe. You're not going to believe it, So people were giving me clues, and then she shows up at my door. And when she shows up at my door, she's wearing my necklace, but she has a different charm on it. And like I said, people gave me clues, but I just couldn't believe my best friend would do that to me, because she had a sob story. I would give her shoes, I would give her clothes. She always talked about being abused. I always looked out for her, helped her do her hair and things like that. And, I just wanted her to feel good about herself, and not, because, kids could bully you just for what you're wearing, your shoes, things like that, so I just couldn't believe that, she would have done anything. But she gave me a clue. People gave me clues, and not just that, but she was so blasphemous that she showed up at my door wearing the necklace with a different charm. And I told her, I said, that looks like my necklace. And then she goes, It does, but it's not. She's like, what does your necklace look like? I'm like exactly like that. Um, she's like, no, my grandmother just got me this with the charm. And I'm like, that looks a lot like my necklace. And you don't want to call people thieves or anything like that, but sometimes narcissists will even steal from you, and it's jacked up because you really trust them. So a lot of times they won't steal from you and they'll be around you for a while, and then when they finally see something that they actually want, they'll steal it and even show it to you, because it's kind of like it'll go missing or something, and then they'll pop up with it out of nowhere, like you're stupid. They think you're so dumb because they're fake, and they're wondering why you haven't caught on. They're giving you clues so you can know what type of person they are, so that they don't feel bad about what they did. It's like you deserved it type of thing. So eventually, you know, I realized with the necklace, like, obviously, you know, that was my necklace. But like I said, there'll be clues that they'll give you where it's, you know, it's like they'll take something of yours, they'll help you look for it and everything, you know. Later on, they'll try to make you jealous with the same items that they stole, and they'll tell you, like, look at what I just bought. I bought a new PS4, and I know someone stole yours, or I know it went missing or something, but you made me want to buy one. You made me want to buy one. And that's what makes it so blasphemous, is that you will really believe stuff like that, and it's a whole setup. Or they give you clues. You know, they make eye contact with other narcissists, and then you're looking at them and you're like, why did you guys give each other that look? You're playing games, aren't you? And they'll be like, no, what are you talking about? I just looked at him, or I just looked at her. Or like they'll make funny faces behind your back with, you know, when you're not looking, or even with other people. Or they'll say little smart remarks. They'll give you clues, and then they'll act like, you know, or they'll tell you stories about other people's relationships, stories about other people's situations, and they're really talking about themselves to get advice from you. How sick is that? How sick is that? They actually tell you stories and act like certain things happened in the past. Or you'll go to a certain place, right? You've been to this restaurant before with them many times. Or maybe you decide to, let's just say, you decide to go to the park, and then they'll say, oh, I had an ex that me and her went to this park. And you'll think to yourself, like, when did you have this ex, like, that lived in this area? For all I know, you said that you haven't had a lot of relationships. You could have had they could have had an ex-wife, or they could have had a long-term relationship, or they could have had a child with someone else, and they made it seem to you like that was their only serious relationship. So they'll start talking about someone like, oh, an ex, and you'll question it because they made it seem to you like they're not with a lot of different women. So the longer you're with them, you'll start to even discover clues, or just discover that they've actually had more relationships than they actually led on in the beginning. And then not just that, but some of those relationships are even happening while they're with you, and they're elaborating with you and twisting stories just to see your reaction, just to get your thoughts on it. It's like they're trying to use you as a therapist. You're just someone that they use, you know, or you know, they're just the type of people that, you know, they'll give you clues in many different ways. They'll leave things in their car. They know you're always on their passenger seat, you know. If you're a guy and you're dealing with the Jezebel spirit, the seat's gonna be all the way back. You're gonna get in the car, you're like, who the hell was in here? The seat's all the way back, leaning. The hell were they leaning like they what? Were they taking a nap in here? What the hell was going on in here? Something smells fishy around here. Why does it smell like that? You know? So there'll be clues like that, or like, you know, or lip gloss or an eyelash or strands of hair being left behind. Sometimes these women are well aware of the narcissist having a primary source or being married, or sometimes this person knows and they purposely are giving you clues to let you know that the narcissist is cheating on you. It's almost like they'll start to leave you clues. And sometimes you'll even leave clues too. You start to play Blue's Clues. Like, you start to play Blue's Clues because you'll start leaving clues too. And then you'll start to see the narcissist is mad at you, but they can't tell you why they're mad at you. And then they'll get so mad. They're in such a bad mood where they'll be like, why did you leave your bra under my sheets? Why did you leave your thong under the behind the bed? And you'll leave stuff too, because you'll start to find stuff. So it almost becomes battle of the sexes, because you almost when you start doing things back, they know that you know, and they know that you've deciphered their clues. And now it gives them even more ammunition to feel like, I could dog you out, I could do more to you, I could abuse you to another level because you're trying to mess up my supply, and you secretly know what you're doing, and you're insecure. And now they're giving you more clues, because now they're telling you you're insecure when you know you're not insecure. You just don't like people bullshitting you, you know, and they try to make it seem like there's something wrong with you to where you even believe it. So that's why when you look back, you'll look at all the clues. And then when they drop the mask, you'll think to yourself, man, I told the narcissist I knew they were with someone else, and they lied and gaslit me, you know, or they told me, you know, that I assume that they're a cheater, or they're a dog, and that they'll, you know, stick their penis in anyone and everyone, you know. They'll say things to you, and you'll be looking at them like scratching your head, like, you know, like, I wouldn't, because those are words that I wouldn't say. You know, they'll say things that sound crazy, like, you know, you think I'm a dog and I stick my penis in everyone, huh? Don't you? They say stuff that is actually, it sounds crazy, and it sounds provocative, and it sounds like disgusting, almost like they're trying to tell you, you think I'm just this disgusting pervert, don't you? And you'll think about it, you know, and you'll be like, maybe I am insecure, or maybe I am tripping out, or, you know, you'll start blaming yourself so that things can go back to how they were. And then, you know, that was a form of them giving you a clue. And then they're watching you, and they know that you don't have a clue, that they're telling you exactly who they are. They're telling you they're nasty, they're perverts, they're liars, they can't be trusted. They're telling you all these things, but you don't want to believe it, you know. Even your family, you know, your parents, they'll tell you, you know, I grew up poor, I grew up in another country, I grew up without anything, I was desensitized young, or, you know, I've always been materialistic, I've always wanted better things, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I brought my family here, and their whole thing is surviving and looking good, and they're telling you who they are. And when they're watching you in tears and you're trying to relate to them, they look at you like you're not part of their bloodline, because it's, to them, that's weak, you know. So they'll give you clues, and then in the end, they'll even give you clues about your friendships and relationships, and in the end, you're kind of like, I wish my family, or my mother, or my father would have told me the truth instead of sugarcoating things and playing games and giving me clues and riddles and shit. I wish they would have just been straight up about the realness, the what's really going on and why, and showed me at least empathy or love so I could trust them to trust their information. But these people will yell at you and try to force things on you, and you don't have a clear understanding. And then you'll meet a narcissist who, they're giving you all these clues that everything your family and friends are saying is true, but then they'll fabricate certain things, and it's almost like they'll tell you, oh, what they're saying about me is true, but that's not the whole truth, because I went through this in my childhood, because I went through that. So that throws you off, and you think that they're different from what people already know what they are. They already know what they are. All they need is a couple of clues, and they already know what type of person you're dealing with. They'll ask, your family will say, I remember my dad asking me, did the narcissist, go and get your car washed? Did he take it to the car wash? And I'm like, why? He's like, if you're going to be dating him, he needs to take your car to the car wash. And I was like, that's weird. Why would I do that? Like, that's weird, right? But it's like, even if you have a narcissist father, they'll give you clues about the narcissist person that you're dating, but it's almost like they want you to go through what they put your parent through. It's very sick. That's why the narcissist is never really your parent. They're like your friend or your boyfriend, or they use you for the image, or they use you to attract other women, because they don't know that that might be your father. So they give you clues. They give you clues on why they even want to use you. They want to take pictures, they want to look like the good person, but that they're not really present, and they don't give you good advice. They actually give you advice of a teenage friend who is a troublemaker. So I hope that this message was helpful when it comes to the narcissist gives you clues, and they tell you the truth to your face. You just can't believe it, or it's almost like it's going through one ear out the other. Or when they tell you the truth, you even get alarmed. You're kind of like, so you've been doing this whole time? You get alarmed because now they're telling you the truth. And then you'll tell them, so you never loved me. So this whole time you never loved me. And then they'll start playing mind games. That's not what I said. I just said that, I did cheat on you in the past, but I didn't say I don't love you. So they're playing games. They don't give a damn about you. They're telling you half truths. They're giving you clues. They're giving shit away even. And then they're giving you clues also so that later on you can think about it, and you could, think to yourself, the narcissist had all these things in their car, and they told me, or they had a yoga mat in their car, and they said that one of their coworkers at work had a couple of extra yoga mats and gave them to him, but it just so happened it's two of them. Like, they get stuff that have in pairs. Oh, you know what they like to do too? They like to give you gifts, and then they give you clues that those gifts belong to other people, or maybe a past supplier, someone that they were trying to date that left certain items behind. What's crazy is that instead of the narcissist throwing an item out, they actually keep items of yours, and then when they have another secured supply, they'll give that other person those supplies. Or they'll be if you're dealing like with a really raggedy narcissist, they'll even steal your things and just start giving them to the new supply to make themselves look like they're rich. And it's an investment. They'll even give your wedding ring. They'll steal your wedding ring and give it to the new supply. And I know women are serious about their wedding ring. Even when they get a divorce, they're like, I'm keeping my ring, And so I hope that this message was helpful. If you guys enjoyed this, please like, share, comment, subscribe if you guys are new to my channel, or if you guys haven't subscribed yet. And if you guys want to support my channel by booking a session with me, my booking information will be on the description. Just give me about 24 hours to respond to you, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.